what happens when you have 2 summits, 2 cars, 2 games, but only 1 week. Because this is the summit, and this is the summit. Well, once we actually get over to, yep, there we go. All right, yep, okay, and can it, thank you, there we go. This is the summit. And that over there is the Charger RT Hemi Mad Edition reward. And that over there is the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 456 GSR Hoonigan Edition. The final ever Hoonigan update summit car. And this is the second to last ever summit car, but the last ever rally raid car in the Crew Tour. Now, I'm fairly certain this is the first time something like this has happened. These 2 games have ran together for half a year now. It's been 6 months, and only on that 6th month have we gotten 2 summit cars running at the exact same time. This being 2 very interestingly different summit cars as well. A Dodge, which is a sort of a restoration type thing. It's a, okay! It's an off-road Dodge that isn't already in Rally Raid, but it's rusted, okay. Yep, and let's just, there we go, thank you. We're not gonna make this, are we? Damn it. It's a rusted old Dodge, presumably found somewhere, and then sort of customized with brand new door, brand new roll cage, brand new everything, and it's got this sort of handmade style to it, which I think looks really cool. And, well, the other one is sort of just a Mitsubishi Evo, but with a, well, it's a Mitsubishi Evo with a bit of customization on it. It's really nothing, frankly. In fact, we've known about that Mitsubishi since the start of the update 3 months ago, because it's in a race. That Mitsubishi had been placed, oh god, in a race in the game, so there really was no point in caring about it. Hey, you know what, I'll take that as a landing though. There was no hype reveal for it. 114, I'll take that. But nonetheless, it is still a summit car that we're gonna have to get and that we're gonna need for whatever in the future, as obviously it contributes to your overall car collection, so you don't want to really miss out on the summit car. Even though you might not care about it, at the end of the day, if you do ever in the future decide, oh, you know what, maybe I will care about Motorfest, and then you buy all the cars, you're gonna be left with a bunch of summit cars you don't own, and one of those is gonna be the Mitsubishi, and you're gonna be sat there like, damn, I wish I just played the summit and got that Mitsubishi. But you didn't, when Sid told you to. We also get to use one of the few cars that actually isn't even in Motorfest yet, the Renault 5 Maxi Summit, or rather. This thing is technically not actually confirmed to be coming back to Motorfest just yet. I suppose, hopefully, we find out whether it will on Tuesday, when I release my early access videos on the brand new update, which if you didn't know, subscribe, because on Tuesday, I'm gonna be releasing a bunch of videos early on that update, thanks to Ubisoft providing it for me. Oh, god damn it. Damn you. And you know, if you want to get all that information, I suppose turn notifications on, but you know what, just head down there and subscribe. YouTube will recommend it when it needs to. There is actually 2 restrictions on both of these summits in both of the games right now. Normally the Crew 2 can get a bit out of hand, and the Crew 2 can have like 3 different cars that you have to buy. Motorfest has done that completely different, which we'll talk about once we're in the Motorfest Summit, because this is a great time to compare these 2 summit styles. Because I will say, something has just always felt better about a Crew 2 summit. I don't know why though, but tell me if you understand what I mean when I say the Crew 2 summit just has a better vibe to it. But one of those vibes includes having a lot more restrictions when it comes to which cars you need. Like having 3 cars that you might require, and then also having specific restrictions like German or American touring car or anything really that would have you in a situation where you need to spend over a few million to actually have all the cars for the summit, especially when they put a hypercar and then potentially even chuck in a they might even chuck in a Alpha GP car as well, and then you're screwed. And then you're looking at a summit that's going to set you back a clean near 2 million, depending on the Alpha GP, depending on the hypercar. But Motorfest has kind of tried to fix this issue, I guess. It depends what you consider fixed. Hang on, I appear to have accidentally lied through my teeth. Well, it was something that I didn't realize was a lie, because up till now, I thought that Motorfest had never had a 3-car restriction summit. I've only ever seen Motorfest have 2 cars maximum as the restriction. It's almost always been 2 cars maximum as the restriction. It's never been more than 2, unless it has. I've never seen it be 3 cars, but this one is. It's the AMG, this thing that I'm driving right now. It's the Reventon, the Lamborghini Reventon, and it's also the Porsche 993, I think, in Street Tier 2. But I never knew that. I never knew 3 car restrictions was the thing. Huh. Well, most of the time, the Crew Motorfest has only 2 car restrictions, but I guess it can have 3. And it means I really hope you've been playing Motorfest, because this is an expensive one. You're having to buy a mid-range touring car, an upper mid-range street car, and a pretty expensive hypercar. But that's just any hypercar, really, that isn't one of the 2 bottom ones that are like 500k dirt cheap hypercars of some sort. I will say, racing right now, it's enjoyable. You know what? Why do I not like Motorfest summits? Well, tell you what, it's hard to care about them. Tell you what, one of the big things about it is that it's an absolute pain to actually care. Because the Crew 2, even up till recently, I remember doing this event before, even up till recently, the Crew 2 puts new vanities in their summit, brand new vanities. Up till like this update is the first time there's not been new vanities in the summits. Yet, Motorfest has had a 95% reused vanity rate, which is nuts. I don't know if that's the exact number, but it's a rough estimate. But like 95% reused vanities. What? It's boring. It's dull and it does my head in. Because why would I want to go out of my way to play if it's a vanity that I already have, if I just played the Crew? We're not talking vanities that you might have bought in the Crew 2. We're talking about vanities in the Motor Pass. Some in the free Motor Pass. So, why care? Why are they bothering so little with good Summit rewards? I guess they did change it a little recently, where they gave us a Summit car, but in gold for the Lunar Year. But I guess that was just for the Lunar Year? I highly doubt we're going to see that again anytime soon, where a Summit car returns, but as a gold, like the Lunar Year Edition Jaguar did in this game. So, I guess we're kind of just screwed to be even more bored. They also have been running the part grinding in this game into the ground. Look, I understand not having an absolutely, utterly broken method as the best method in the game and patching that, but God, patching more and more different parts methods, even more until the point where the best one is just unfathomably boring on top of everything, it just doesn't put you in a good position. Because I don't want to grind these parts. I don't have Nitro Chemist a touring car. They need to up the rate of gold spawns. They still haven't, I don't think. Oh no! Oh God, ow! Oh, damn it, I didn't realize that turn was there. Oh, I just realized. Of course, this is the Hoonigan Mitsubishi. Is it? No, I don't know. Frankly, I don't know. I don't know what event that was. Hey, though, it's time we talk about Summit cars. Here we go. Starting with an absolute banger. What is that in the back? Oh, wait, are those moving things? Is that like a pot of gold? What is that? I guess we're gonna have to see in something. What a nice Summit car. So one thing that has been incredibly prevalent as well with Motorfest and the Crew 2 running alongside each other. Of course, now Motorfest no longer running, but the fact that the Crew 2 has had 10 times better Summit cars than Motorfest by far. We got 2 Ford GTs, and look, the one in the Crew Motorfest was fine, but the one in the Crew 2 was just clearly more customized. It just in an ugly direction, but it was more customized. We got the Mad Edition Viper, which is very cool. That thing, much more customized than anything, than the Jaguar E-Type they added, which was just a bone stock Jaguar, but with 3 exhausts. And then you compare stuff like the S2000 they added, which was just a green version of the Red Panther. And you compare that to the Mazda RX-7 that they added in the Crew 2, which was a fully redone anime-style 2D sick-looking thing. Even the Basalt Edition Porsche was a better car than anything that Motorfest has put out. I mean, maybe the Camaro. Maybe that purple Camaro they put out recently. I guess that thing was pretty nice. But look, they've already started rerunning Summit cars in the Crew Motorfest. They reran the Bugatti Divo Magma Edition to take up a space during this update. And then on top of that, they're doing mediocre Summit cars. It just is a lose-lose. I mean, I guess it's a win for new players, because they get the chance to get these Summit cars that they've never owned, you know. Not a lot of people own the Magma, and there's probably a lot of new people to the game when it comes to the Crew Motorfest. But it still means that the people who did play the game, complete lose-lose. The new cars that they get suck, and the old cars that they're bringing back, they already own. While the Crew 2 has brought back every single Summit car so far in order, they seem to have done something rather weird, which I'll talk about. But the original Summit cars that they've been doing in the meantime have been nothing but absolute bangers every damn time. Every damn time. This, the 350Z coming up soon, they all just go so hard, man. And then we have the Crew Motorfest. But before I talk about the Crew Motorfest, I will say this is a great example of why the Crew 2's Summit feels a lot nicer than the Crew Motorfest does, and I didn't realize this until I'm playing this right now. This is a US Speed Tour event. This has the artwork for the US Speed Tour. This feels like I'm playing a US Speed Tour event. It's a unique event because it's from the US Speed Tour. All of that comes together, meaning that each event has its own unique feel, because they're all from different updates. This being from an update 3 years ago at this rate. And that is a lot different to how the Crew Motorfest does it. And I didn't think about this. They use the reconfigure aspect, where every event in the game is designed in a way where it can just be flip a switch and then it's a bone stock event, unrecognizable from its original playlist counterpart. This, you can't take the, you cannot take the US Speed Tour out of the event, right? But, this absolute beauty of a Summit car. Cannot wait for this thing in Motorfest. Such a cool Summit car. Damn it, this thing's sick. Well, while the Crew 2 has each event still feeling entirely unique to the update that it is from, Motorfest seems to have gone for a direction where each summit should feel as though it's that summit. So each playlist event has props scattered everywhere, generic props that they can then go in and place generic assets on, a generic texture. This week's being that Hoonigan showreel one, and then it's just whatever the current artwork is gets put all over the game. And that's how they do it. That's how the system works. It's so that, you know, you feel like you're in the week of Hoonigan Showreel. I just don't think it's done great, and it's kind of sucked a bit of life out of the game. This doesn't feel like whatever event this normally is. This feels like a race, full stop. That's the most descriptive word I can get out of it, is just a noun, with a generic image on it. They don't have... The time of day it's not a specific mood. It's not got a unique mood of any kind. It's not got at least one unique asset, right? If they just put one big unique asset and spammed that around, that would feel a little more unique, a little better, a little more original than what they've gone with. But I guess that's just not the direction the Summit is in this game. Instead, it's got to have all these generic assets in it, which is to a detriment to the Summits. And don't even get me started on the events. I need to talk about this car, but don't get me started on the events. They have been recycling events like their life depends on it. And you know what? I'll talk about that after I mention this car right here, which is kind of just really basic. It just... If you told me this was customization you could do to the base model Evo, I'd believe you. I'd believe-o. Sure, it's Hoonigan. I don't know if it's under the brand Hoonigan or if it's Mitsubishi Evo Hoonigan Edition, but it definitely is just so mediocre. It's nice that Mitsubishi have done this. I guess make it a Hoonigan Edition, but it could have been so much more. What's a car you think of when you think Hoonigan? You think Hoonatron. You think Hoonicorn. You know what? Even the Crew has done it better than the Crew has, because we have the 3100, the 3100 or whatever. That Chevrolet pickup truck. That Chevrolet pickup truck goes hard, and it's the only version of that pickup truck in Street Tier 2. There's so many unique things about that thing, yet none of that carries over to this event. Not a single bit of that carries over to the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo Hoonigan Edition. Just a really basic looking Mitsubishi to the point where it's like, why is it even locked? I guess it says Hoonigan on it. Guess. But I got an A in maths, so let me show you what it looks like when I'm doing some maths, because we've had 2 updates. The first week was 445, 549, 13. Second one was 455, 14, 20, 7, 20, yeah, 20, oh, 43, yeah, 27, 5, 6, 7, yep. 27 weeks that we've had. 6 times 27, well, half 27, you get 135, yeah, 135, and then you add another 27, you get 15, it's 135, 16162. They've had to decide for 162 events. That's how many Summit events there has been. 162. It might seem like a lot until you realize there is about that many events in the game. I've calculated it before, and it was at like 110, 120 at launch. And we've had 2 playlists since then. You know what one of the biggest issues is? Both of those playlists are drift playlists, completely hindering where those events can be used. But regardless, we've got over 100 events in this game. But one of the biggest things that I've noticed that's making the Summit so repetitive is that for some reason, for some strange reason, they have been refusing to put in events where you switch cars. The only events that are able to be in the Summit are events where you are in a single car the entire race. Why? Why is that a thing? Why are they excluding events that you switch cars? Think about how many events that removes. There's about 2 or 3 in the Liberty Walk playlist. There's this one here in the Donut Media. There's the bike event. There's more. All right, there's more, I swear. But there is no way we should be able to feel it being so repetitive with its event selection when there's only been a selected amount of summit events that is about the same as the amount of events in the game. What are you doing? What are you doing? But no, because of some weird internal rule, events like this, which are completely perfectly fine events, where you switch cars halfway through, for some reason, are barred from being in the summit. Look, you could just make it so you stay the same car the entire time. How much coding could that really be? You already are able to switch events where the goal of the event is different. Hawaii Scenic Tour events are able to, I hope so, are able to be in the summit. And those are events where you don't even have to win. Now that I think about it, I don't know if I've ever seen a Hawaii Scenic Tour event in the summit. Is the summit only restricted to events that are a race? Oh no, that would make it so much worse. That would make it so much worse. If it's restricted to only those Supercar Blondie events and only the events that are races, and that's why we probably haven't seen any Hawaii Scenic Tour. We probably haven't seen any vintage garage events where you have to follow the pictures, which we definitely haven't seen. And we haven't seen any switching vehicle events. Why have they done this to themselves? The Crew 2 has a selection of hundreds and hundreds of events, and it never, ever feels repetitive. Yet the Crew Motorfest Summit, because of the way they do their assets, which is just a separate issue that doesn't help, really, I don't mind it at the end of the day, to give each every one its own vibe and remove all the uniqueness of the events, sure. But restricting it to only time trials and beat the clocks and races, and removing like a solid 40% of your other event list? Why? Why Ivory Tower? I don't get it. Why make the summit less unique and enjoyable on your own accord? You're allowed to. Do you guys know you're allowed to? Hey, if we did do one more event, we would unlock, oh, look at that, a reused Crew 2 vanity. You don't even need to see it. You can believe me that it's a reused vanity, because that's the level we're at. Because you can believe me it's a reused vanity. You know what you get in the Crew 2 summit? Also nothing new, unfortunately, but you do get a full set of motocross parts. You get 445,000 bucks. You get 400,000 followers. You get another set of 45,000 bucks. You get 90,000 in total. You get another full set of rally raid parts. You get rewards per event. You know what you get here? You get rewards per 3 events. And they're not even advertised. The amount of people that don't know those are there. Well, why not just put them here? In fact, I've made a concept for this before, and I'll show it to you happily. Here you go. This is what it should look like. This is what the summit rewards should look like. It should have 3 events, 6 events, 9 events, and it shows you it, and then it does them green as you play it. That's what it should be. Simple as that. Easiest change they could make, but they haven't. And we don't know about it coming. Hopefully it's in the next update, but I doubt it. God, I didn't expect this to become a Summit bad rant, but I guess that's what it became. Well, which of the 2 games do you think does the Summit better than the other one? Head down there, subscribe, and check out the upcoming content in 2 days from now. And, well, you know, I love you too. Thank you to popular members, especially thanks to famous members, and an insane thank you to star members Grim Pepper and Extreme Speed, and an insane top of the top thank you to Icon members HK and Extreme Speed again. I'll see you boys in the next one in a bit.